Hey, greetings everyone. For those of you that don't know, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. I have a really fun song for you today. Today we're going to be learning how to play Original Prankster by the Offspring on guitar. So don't forget to subscribe for all your favorite tracks with complete tab. And let's get going. Here's the intro. The intro really hints at the main riff for a few measures before we really get into it. What we're doing is playing everything along the A string. All these notes are on the A string except for one pesky note on the 7th fret of the D string. So we start off by doing 2 open A's, note on the 3rd fret C, and then 2 more open A's. And it's just 8th notes. So, and use alternate picking. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and then drop these fingers. I even drop this hand, get a few beats of rest, and then we do a little variation on this. We go. Okay, so repeat the 2 open A's, C on the 3rd fret, only 1 open A, up to that 7th fret, and then open A, C, A. And remember to use alternate picking. So if you're new to alternate picking, this might be a challenge for you. But it's not too bad since it's mostly all on one string. And then we give it a few beats of rest again and get into a new variation. Okay, so we repeat what we did in the first measure, 2 open A's, a C, and 2 open A's. Give it a quick half beat of rest by putting your fingers down, and then a note on the 5th fret. Okay, and then we get into what's basically the main riff. There's just one slight little variation in it, but we kind of get into the full thing here. So we go 2 open A's, C on the 3rd fret, 1 more open A, up to that 7th fret, 2 more open A's, 5th fret, open A, 5th fret, open A, 3rd fret, 5th fret, then back to the 3rd fret with a little bend on it. Just drag it down towards the floor a little bit. Okay, so those 2 measures really slow. Okay, now this might be a little bit more complicated than you initially think, because really what we want to do is really accent the notes that we're fretting so that they pop out and give it kind of a jumping sort of feel. So that's the hardest part of the riff, right? Is to get some dynamics in there and not to make every note sound 100% the same. So now after we repeat that, then we get into the actual riff that's heard throughout the rest of the track. And it's virtually the same, there's just one note that's different. Okay, so I don't know if you caught it, but we're playing the 6th fret on the A in there. So we want to do the exact same thing. 2 A's, C on the 3rd fret, open A, up to that 7th fret on the D string, and then open A. Then we want to go 6th fret on the A string, and then walk down to the 5th fret. Then that second measure is the exact same. So after you hit that 6-5, then you go open A, 5, open A, 3, 5, bend on 3. Really slow. Okay. Okay, and we play that twice, and then we just do the first half. And then a measure of rest, and we're into the track. The verses sound like this. As you probably noticed, not a lot more to talk about in the verses. The intro riff plays throughout the majority of the verse as well. The only difference is that we're putting a palm mute on. So you just have to put that blade of your palm down close to the bridge there, find the chuggy sound, so that those strings are slightly muted, and then just play the same riff. And you can take that palm mute off when you do the bend. On the album, that note pops a little bit more. So take your palm mute off and it will sound like the album. Now, the only thing that we have to talk about is the end of the verse. We play that main riff 3 times and then we play a couple of power chords. Okay, to get into the pre-chorus. And what we're doing is just 2 power chords, a G power chord, 3rd fret of the bottom string, and then frets 5 on the A and the D strings. And we just go 1 without a palm mute, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you put a palm mute down after you stab on beat 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and we want to slide up to an E power chord on the 7th fret of the A string, and the 9th frets on the D and G strings. Okay, you just want to take that palm mute off quick as you slide up, and then put your palm mute back down and gradually take it off for the rest of that measure. Okay? So that's how you play verses 1 and 2. The 3rd verse is slightly different though, so let's talk about that. It's kind of more of the same. We just play that main riff 7 times, but getting out of that 3rd verse is different. We do this. And then we get into our pre-chorus. So the first measure is the same as what we've learned. That doesn't change. We do go to our G power chord on the bottom string, 3rd fret, 1, then put a palm mute on, 2 and 3 and 4. And then this is where it changes. We're gonna hit some open strings as we jump up to the 7th fret power chord on the A string, an E power chord. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And we slide down with that. And then on beat 4, we hit another E and slide down, and then we can get into our pre-chorus that way. So nice and slow. And then we get into our pre-chorus. Here's that. A little bit more hopping around here with power chords again for the pre-chorus. We start with an A on the 5th fret of the low string, an A power chord. And then we slide that up a step and a half to C on the 8th fret. Okay, and then we come up a string to the A string, the 7th fret. And we come down chromatically to the 6th fret to the 5th fret. And then we repeat that 5th fret, down to the 3rd fret, up to the 5th fret, back down to the 3rd fret. Okay, and then that plays 3 times. So the only thing to really note is the strum pattern there. We're doing a lot of syncopating on the second half there with just some upstrokes. Okay, so there's a lot of ups there on the ends of beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Down, 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 up, 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 down, down. Okay, so yeah, like I said, play that 3 times, and then we repeat our little thing that we did at the end of the verse, just one little difference. Getting into our chorus. The only difference is when we slide up to that E, you take your palm mute off gradually throughout the whole verse, but don't slide down on beat 4 like we did before. We just fill that whole measure with 8th notes and then jump down to our A power chord again to start the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you can hit some open strings on the end of 4 just to get that, facilitate the jump. Okay, and then we get into our chorus. Here we go. The chorus starts on an A power chord again on the bottom string. So the first time you hit it, release the pressure with these fingers just to give it that shortened staccato sound. You don't want to take your fingers right off the strings, but just release the pressure so that they're not making contact with the frets. Okay, so we want to go down, down, up, that first measure. And that final up, release your fingers because we're going to snag some open strings. We're going to use open strings quite a bit in the chorus to facilitate moving between chords. So get a down, down, up, down, and we're going to hop our fingers up a string set to the D power chord on the 5th fret of the A string. And we're going to hit that one twice. And then slide all the way up to the 10th fret of the A string, the G, and we're gonna get an up, down, down, up. And we're gonna release those, get some open strings again. Okay, so all together, those two measures sound like this. Okay, and we play that twice, and the third time is the exact same. We just fill up that second measure with a few more eighth notes. And then we get into our final two measures, which is a stab again on the G, which we're already on, and coming down a string set to the bottom string set, 10. And then we repeat those chords. Okay, the second time though, you're going to want to use two ups because those aren't offbeats. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we come back up to the G. Okay, to finish this off. And we go up, down, up with some open strings. And then we move up a half step to the 11th fret, down, and then up with some open strings again. So the final two measures slow sound like this. And then there's our regular chorus. And for the outro, we just have to tack a little bit of that, more of the same on at the end. Here's the outro, and let's just discuss that. So the outro, as you can see, is pretty similar to what we just learned. We're just tacking on some more of this at the end. So we play a chorus regular, how we learned it, and then we have to do one measure of chugging on the D. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. And then we just put that back in. Exactly how we would play it in a regular chorus. There's just that one measure of chugging on D there that's kind of a connector. And then we just end it on a big open A power chord. And that's our track. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this original Prankster guitar lesson. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can learn all your favorite tracks with complete and accurate tab. Let me know what songs you're interested in learning by dropping me a comment, and I'll see you next time. I'm off to do the next video.